Question 1. What are the various types of pranas and their role in self-realization? At the time of death, which are the locations prana can leave the physical body? And on what conditions these locations depend? Answer. There are total 10 types of pranas in the human body, out of which 5 are very significant. They have very specific role to make the human body or form healthy and at the same time help the sadhaka for mergence with the supernal. The important pranas are Prana, Vyana, Samana, Udana Prana, Apana, Naga, Karma, Kurkara, Devadatta and Dhananjaya. Prana is the part of breath. The air, a human being breath contains prana shakti along with oxygen and other constituents. How this pranic power exists in the atmosphere around us is a spiritual, scientific and a mysterious mystery. There is no valid explanation to explain this mystery. It is a divine miracle. One can live without food and drink for quite some time, but not without the breath and the pranic energy. Human being is declared dead when he cannot breathe. The breath is the only communication with the cosmos, that is with the external world. It is the only practical linkage between inner and outer surroundings. Inner system is badly affected if the outer surroundings are not healthier. After the breath is taken inside through nostrils, it becomes shwasa. Prana is separated at the Vishuddhi Chakra at throat region from the shwasa. This prana is further transformed in Vyana prana at the heart region at Tahara Chakra. From here it gets distributed in the human system and keeps the system and vital organs working by the pranic energy. The same pranic energy of the breath is transformed into Samana prana at the Manipura and Swadhisthanam region. The Vyana prana distributes the pranic energy carried by the Samana prana. Depending on the needs of the organs, Samana prana is distributed. After this, Apana prana is generated in the lower organs from the vital prana. Apana prana helps for secretion and the functioning of the excrete system. The force of Apana prana removes excreta of body. These pranas are self-generated in the system by the pranic energy of the breath and is automatically distributed in the system by the auto system. Apart from the above 4 types of pranas, as discussed, Udana prana is required to be generated in the system by the close interaction or impact of Vyana prana, vital prana with the Samana as well as Apana prana at the navel center. By the mutual impact of these pranas, one set of pranas moving downwards and another set of pranas moving upwards, create a new prana that is named as Udana prana. This newly generated prana by the impact of 4 existing pranas is basically a life force and the spiritual energy. By the yoga sadhana, this Udana prana is brought to Muladhara Chakra by natural process, and by the heat or energy of Udana prana it pierces the Muladhara, and from there it is allowed to ascend by yoga practices, and gradually this passes through Swadhisthanam and Manipura chakras before it reaches to the Dhara Chakra, the heart center. At Dhara Chakra, it penetrates either on Ramadwar or gate, or Armadwar or gate, or at the Ichchadwar or gate. If it strikes at Rama gate, spiritual aspirant gets the feeling of happiness. Its penetrating at Arma gate gives the dual feeling of happiness and sadness because of the problems or miseries on the horizontal plane. If life force at Dhara Chakra strikes at Ichchadwar or gate, then an aspirant feels the state of Apurbhava. It is the blissful state at Dhara Chakra. And if life force penetrates correctly at the Ichcha gate, it can ascend with high kinetic energy and easily reaches to apex center on passing through Vishuddhi Chakra, Lambika Chakra and Agya Chakra. At Dhara, life force gives nada of Hrim and Aum automatically. If life force penetrates at Rama or Arma gate, the chances for reaching the apex state is remote. This may happen because of the lack of getting magnetic functional energy from the Dhara Chakra into the life force, which may not be adequate to reach the highest center easily. In general, Udana Prana increases the spiritual energy in sadhaka, and by its help when it crosses the Dhara through Ichcha gate or Nadi, it takes with it the soul to the Agya Chakra. After ascending, it gets purified at Vishuddhi and Lambika chakras. Sadhaka can himself understand easily from which location of Dhara Chakra the life force has penetrated to Agya Chakra. In fact, Udana Prana or life force is the carrier of the soul to sky. It is skyness carrier with divine and godly energy. Each one of us has this energy, but it is required to be generated, directed, felt, worshipped and finally to be taken along with the Kundalini power and soul to the abode of silence, converting it into the light at the Agya Chakra. There are other sub-pranas named as Naga, Karma, Kurukrara, Devadtta, Vayu, and Dhananjaya. These are basically required to carry out the reflex functions of the body like eyes closing or opening, removing the Vayu or air from the digestive system by Dakara etc., and vomiting function when system needs to vomit etc. Out of these sub-pranas, Dhananjaya Prana is very significant. By this prana, which is trapped in the abdomen region, the dead body of a person gets swelling and bolted up. Before pyres is lit or before cremation, keeping the body on the ground, the breath trapped in the abdomen is released by lower organs by the impact of handling the dead body, and thus Dhananjaya Prana leaves the dead body. It is generally last to release from the body. Sometimes, if it is not released through lower organs and instead it ascends to lungs and heart, the dead body gets the consciousness even on the burial ground and even before the pyres are laid. These are rare cases but happen practically and also have been reported and duly documented. This is all by the miracles of Dhananjaya Prana. Basically, Dhananjaya Prana is earth-bound and Udana Prana is sky-bound. Both are in the Udana or navel center or stomach. Dhananjaya Prana may act after death, whereas Udana Prana is made to act in the living body to uplift him and makes him divine or spiritual. Basically, prana is generated from breath, but it is on much higher plane or level with much higher energy than breath. For dead body, prana mixes with food and get trapped in stomach with the partially digested or undigested food, and this acts as Dhananjaya prana after the death of a person, and at times even at burial grounds its presence is felt. This shows that food needs prana for digestion, and it has the capacity to hold the prana even after death. After death, the prana leaves either through eyes, nose, mouth or ears. It all depends where are the inclination of vasanas or desires exist in the mind at the time of death. If a person wants to smell a particular odor at the deathbed, his prana may leave through nose. If he wants to hear melody, etc., it may leave through ears. Similarly, if he is very much desirous to see or eat something, then his prana may leave through eyes or through the mouth, respectively. But if an advanced spiritual aspirant is able to bring his prana up to the Ajna Chakra, then it is certain that his prana will leave only through the apex center, and from nowhere else it can leave the body. For yogis, prana leave as light through the apex center and merge with the supernal light. Leaving of prana depends on thoughts at the time of death. Some prana is always trapped as Dhananjaya prana in the abdomen and leaves through lowest centers only. This may happen sometimes after the death or at the time of death. Beside above, there is a shastra known as Chaya or image shastra. By the help of Chaya or image, one can predict at least 6 months before when the person is likely to leave this world. For spiritually advanced self-realized yogis, there is no chaya or image of their physical bodies when they are under the sun. They are transformed as full of light by yoga practices, however, just appear in the physical bodies or forms. In short, type of pranas, their importance, functions have been highlighted, from which location pranas leaves the body, and what are the conditions to leave the pranas from the particular sense organs at the time of death. The highest achievement for a sadhaka is when his prana leaves from the apex center after the death, and he knows when he is likely to leave the body. All this is by the grace and blessings of Almighty. This one can achieve not even after his best efforts and sadhana.